welcome to the programme. How are you? You all right, Adnan?
Hi, Talat. Yes, thank you for the invitation. How about yourself?
I'm very good, thank you very much. So, tell us, Adnan, what does this new move actually mean for your campaign?
Well, it's simple, really. We're asking the council to reconsider the contract it has in place, and by doing so, we're saying that the taxpayers, the money should be spent in an ethical way. It means that Blackburn with Darwen Council, it will now have a clause within its procurement process, and that clause will help us exclude those companies who facilitate the human rights violations, especially in Palestine.
Okay, so quite a bold move by yourself, I suppose, but how difficult was it for you to then get the council to decide?
Well, to be honest, the Drive for Justice started its work, started meetings with the Executive Board of the Council in early September, and here we are in 2015. We've got a decision, we've got a result. The Council were keen on ensuring ethical sourcing. The Council were fantastic to deal with, and today we're here speaking to yourself about the results that we've achieved.
Okay, well, let's read you a statement from the council, and the leader of the council said the review gave the council an opportunity to see what it could do to strengthen its procurement procedures by reflecting the UN Human Rights Council recommendations, and that it has strong tradition of championing human rights. Well, joining me also is Councillor Shaukat Hussain. Shaukat, tell us, why was it important for you to get behind this idea?
Good evening, Talat.
Good evening.
And good evening to your guests and listeners. Yeah, it was very important. Back in September, Adnan asked us, Waqar and a few others from Drive for Justice actually put a motion to council, and they come to one of our full forum meetings and presented themselves very, very professionally. They were very passionate about this, and the motion was what it says, really. They wanted us to sort of adopt the United Nations human rights principles on business and human rights, and it was something, I fully supported, but we got cross-party support, which was, even better, really. So from there on, we couldn't say yes at that moment in time, but we were more than willing to look at what the contracts we had in place,
right,
and sort of adopt the UN recommendations on illegal settlements.
Now, Shaukat, the situation in Palestine is obviously a hugely contentious issue, specifically amongst the Muslim community. So how is the council going to build on this initial step?
Well, I think whatever the views are, personal views, and everybody can have them, they have a right to them, but this is about human rights. And what we're basically saying is we're not prepared to deal with companies who either produced, make, or pack stuff in illegal settlements, especially in Palestine. And that's what this Drive for Justice have sort of created awareness, really. And we're just more than happy to sort of adopt that. We're not picking on any one particular country. If there's illegal settlements and people are producing product anywhere else in the world, we'll have the same contracts. They'll have to go through the same procurements.
I'm just going to interrupt.
Yes, I was just going to. I'm going to bring you in now, Adnan. So clearly, quite a step by the council. So what does this mean for you?
Look, it means that we want people to reconsider companies that they use. We want people to be more ethical in their business, and that's what we want our council to do. Because as the constituents of Blackburn, we have a right to come across to our council and say, "Hang on, you need to use our money more ethically." And going back to the United Nations Human Rights Council report, which studied the Israeli settlement, the key recommendation was that the companies must assess the human rights impact of their activities and take all necessary steps, including by terminating their business interests in the settlement, and to ensure they are not adversely impacting the human rights of the Palestinian people. And this is in line with international law as well as the guiding principles on business and human rights. Also, this is all we want. If these same companies, which today are violating human rights, human rights and the Palestinians' rights, then if these same companies decide to stop doing that, would be the Yeah, okay, that's fine. We can deal with these guys again.
And Adnan, would you like to see other councils following the example of Blackburn with Darwen?
Look, we saw Leicester Council. The council, they turned around and did pretty much the same thing that we requested our Blackburn Council to do. But Blackburn Council, there's something more to it. They went a step further. They agreed to put a clause which we are yet to agree about, but that clause is there to say that yes, our procurement process will exclude the companies which facilitate the human rights violations in Palestine. Leicester Council, yes, they agreed to stop doing business with these companies, but there's no guarantee that in the future they will or they will not start doing business with these same businesses again. Whereas Blackburn Council, they agreed to have this specific clause. And I think that's a victory for the future as well.
Okay, well, Councillor Shaukat Hussain, so what does this clause actually mean then?
Well, what it actually means is that when we sort of source contracts out and we're looking for new tenders, we sort of make sure there's no companies who are benefiting from illegal settlements, or they're running businesses from there, producing product there, or making stuff, packing stuff there. And that's something that we had some safeties in place before. This just sort of toughened it up a bit.
Right.
And like I said, I'm more than happy as a councillor and to influence. We want to ensure ethical sourcing, and as a taxpayer, we should be spending money in an ethical way. No problem with supporting that in any way whatsoever.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us this evening. That's Adnan Hussain from Drive for Justice campaign and Councillor Shaukat Hussain. You're listening to Indus here on BBC Radio Manchester and BBC Radio Lancashire. Now let's turn to a bit of showbiz. Prince Charles and his wife Camilla were